MrBeast, real name Jimmy Donaldson, is known as being YouTube's most generous content creator. I mean, technically no one has the official title, but given the fact that in almost every video MrBeast is giving his friends, family, or complete strangers money for doing various things, he's definitely worthy of such a title. I mean, he's certainly YouTube's biggest philanthropist, which is close enough. But a lot of people are curious as to where he got all of his money from. It's no secret YouTubers with large followings make a lot of money. To no surprise, MrBeast has over 37.1 million subscribers, and that's just on his main channel. There's also his merchandise, sponsorships, the guy's making a pretty penny. But it's not like he necessarily hoards it. As we know, he started the initiative of Team Trees, with the goal of raising money to plant 20 million trees before 2020, in which he donated. His videos also tend to see him giving away thousands, if not hundreds of thousands, and occasionally millions of dollars in either cash or assets. Today on Life's Biggest Questions, we're asking, how does MrBeast have so much money? What's happening, guys? Welcome back to LBQ. I'm your host for this one, Jared Bronstein, and today we're talking about MrBeast and his insane wealth. As always, make sure you guys stick around until the end for some comment replies, but for now, let's get right into it. At the time of this recording, MrBeast has an estimated net worth of $18 million, according to nabuzz.com. However, other sources claim his net worth to be closer to the $6 to $8 million mark. As we know, when it comes to one's net worth, especially a YouTuber's, it seems the numbers tend to be incredibly inaccurate. It's tough to determine his exact net worth, as there are so many variables that come into play regarding how much money he makes. And although I can't say for sure how much money the guy is definitely worth, between his assets as well as his cash flow he receives from endorsements, views, and merchandise, I wouldn't be surprised if he was worth north of 10 million. Regardless of the number, one thing is for sure, we all know the guy has a lot of money. With video titles such as I gave $200,000 to people who lost their jobs, and Lamborghini race, winner keeps Lamborghini, it doesn't take a genius to figure out the kid is sitting quite comfortably. With that being said, there are a few factors regarding not only how he makes so much money, but also how he can afford to constantly give away hundreds and millions of dollars, either in cash or assets, in almost all of his videos. In one video, he tipped the pizza guy an entire house. In another, he donated a total of $100,000 to streamers with no views. In fact, he's donated to streamers with little to no views more than once, and their reactions truly never get old. So what's the secret? Was he born rich? A trust fund baby? Actually, no. He's self-made. MrBeast's content didn't always revolve around giving away money or expensive luxury items, such as Lamborghinis. At first, he started making videos of his gameplay and just did some commentary, much like a lot of popular YouTube channels do now. Then he switched it up and started making his worst intro series, where he would call out and make fun of literally the worst introductions to videos on YouTube. This seemed to work for Donaldson, who started to grow a solid following. But it wouldn't be until his challenge videos that he would really start gaining a lot of traction. In January 2017, he uploaded a video where he counted to 100,000 and did it shortly after dropping out of college to pursue becoming a YouTuber full-time. What made him think to do the video? He just wanted to go viral, explaining, I quote, "I just really wanted it. I dropped out of college, I wasn't really making much, I knew it would go viral." And boy did it go viral. At the time of this recording, the video has surpassed 19 million views. This would lead to MrBeast going on to do other similar challenges, such as spinning a fidget spinner for 24 hours, or watching the music video to Jake Paul's It's Everyday Bro for 10 hours. As you can imagine, those were hits as well, and by November 2017, MrBeast has gained a subscriber count of over 1 million. At this point, MrBeast had already started getting offers for sponsorships in his videos. However, unlike a lot of YouTubers who simply plug the product they're getting paid to plug, and then go back to whatever it was their video was originally about, MrBeast flipped the script. He would shout out the product or company that sponsored him, but instead of pocketing the money he would get from the sponsorship, he would sometimes film himself giving it to other people. Now you may be thinking, why would he give away money? I don't understand why he wouldn't just pocket the cash from the sponsorship and keep making videos. But it was this decision that has led to his continued growth in wealth, as well as subscribers and followers. At the time of this recording, MrBeast has over 5.9 billion views on his YouTube channel. Not million, billion. His last 6 uploads all exceed 20 million views, with the exception of one, which has 14 million views. These numbers are insane. To have such consistent views, you need to do something that is going to not only interest your fans or followers in the moment, but gives them a reason to come back. And who doesn't like seeing someone give generously to someone else? This is a big reason why MrBeast has been able to accomplish all that he has. Rather than focusing on making money off of sponsorships, MrBeast realized early on in the game that he can make a lot more money off of YouTube views than from sponsorships alone. Of course, he can make money off of both, but it seems when he makes content giving away the money that was sent to him for the sponsor, his videos get the most views. And at the end of the day, this is a business. Which leads me to believe MrBeast is likely making a lot more money from videos that get him tens of millions of views, even if he's giving away $100,000, than if he were to make a different type of content and just pocketed money from sponsorships. In regards to a dollar amount per view, the number seems to change on a regular basis. Some claim that every view is worth a certain number, but the reality is it's different for every single content creator on YouTube. Some are in the preferred ads program, which makes them more money per view, while others are just given the regular rate. But as previously mentioned, there is no regular rate, because there are various factors regarding how creators make money on YouTube. Engagement, watch time, even the length of the video can determine if you're going to make or lose money when looking at the business side of content creation. Donaldson even explained it himself. I quote, "If you want the special secret, if you want to know where it all came from, my parents aren't that rich. I'm only 20 years old. Every dollar I've ever made came from YouTube, and YouTube just pays better than you think." It's important to mention though, even if you're in the Google Preferred Ads program, not all of your videos will necessarily be monetized. So to assume all of MrBeast's videos are making him money would be wrong. Yet, with the type of content he makes, there's no reason for it to be demonetized. It's not edgy, doesn't cross the line when it comes to violating YouTube's rules, and in general is clean. Still, sometimes mistakes happen, and videos that should be monetized aren't. You then have to tell YouTube to fix their mistake, and even though they usually do, it doesn't mean you're going to make back the money potentially lost from the views that you got when your video was accidentally demonetized. As you can see, when it comes to content creators or specifically YouTubers' income, it's a very weird thing to decipher. Still, for MrBeast, he's found a way to make it work and realized that not only do people enjoy seeing him be so generous, he feels good about helping others, and at the end of the day, he can make a lot of money doing it. And he doesn't necessarily give away all the money he receives from the sponsorships, although it seems the majority of the time he does. There's also his merchandise, which all the money he makes off of that could go wherever he wants it to go. Aside from this, it's quite possible he has investments outside of YouTube, as anyone should just to expand their profits and not rely on one source of income. For MrBeast, it seems he simply figured out a way to make a lot of money while giving away a lot of money. It's a win-win for everyone. Of course, there's a side of things people don't talk about, which is the burden some of those fortunate enough to receive gifts from MrBeast have to deal with. Someone getting $100,000 on camera in cash is certainly going to be of interest to the IRS when tax season comes around. The same has been said for when he gifts expensive assets, such as cars and homes to people. These people usually can't afford to pay things like the property tax or insurance and upkeep on the car, which in turn could lead them to either having to return it to MrBeast or forfeit the assets to the authorities. While on H3H3's podcast, MrBeast explained, I quote, "That's where it makes things a little weird on me, because if I make them pay taxes on stuff, then I look like a piece of shit. But if I pay taxes on it, something that's already not really profitable." But still, it seems what he's been doing all these years is certainly working for him, as he now has over 37 million subscribers and shows no signs of slowing down, averaging 16.2 million views a day, but currently sitting on an impressive 487 plus million views in the last 30 days alone. So it seems the views and merch is what keeps MrBeast so wealthy, and the sponsorships are simply the fuel that keeps the engine running. That's all for this one, guys. Let us know your thoughts down below on MrBeast in general. For now, let's reply to some comments from the video, what if the Titanoboa existed today? Keon Saliani said, "Fun fact, nobody cares if you're first." I'm gonna have to agree with that statement. I don't know why people always type first. I never really got that, but I don't get it. Static Shock said, "It's fascinating that the Meg is literally 20 feet longer than the Titanoboa." A couple of you guys said it was even bigger, that like correcting him or her, saying that I think it was like 35 feet bigger, someone else said like 51 feet bigger, something like that. Again, it's been argued how big the Meg possibly could have been, but yeah, it's pretty scary. Like when talking about some of these prehistoric animals, to think that there was possibly, you know, a 60-foot shark, I don't think people understand how big that is in the water. That's terrifying. Incredibly terrifying. Relic King said, "I would want the giant penguin back. Stood at about 7 foot if I recall correctly, because we always need more penguins." I did not know that thing even existed. And the fact that there were 7-foot penguins is actually kind of scary, so I don't know if I want that around, but you just taught me something, so thank you. Anyways, guys, that's it for this one. I've been your host, Jared Bronstein. You guys have been watching LBQ, and we'll see you in the next one.